so let's talk about this build. This is a Gemling Legionnaire. I'm just calling it Grenadier. You could say it's a crossbow build, but it's really just grenades. I'm using, I want to say, every type of grenade available. It's just an excuse to throw grenades everywhere. Let me just double check this. Yeah, it's all grenades, all day, every day. Okay. So the premise of this build: shoot grenades. It plays, if you're familiar with PoE1, it plays like a trap or a mine build, a saboteur build, where you have a delayed explosion, like that. If I was to specify which grenade I'm using, it's mostly explosive grenades. So let's go over what we're doing here. Explosive grenade for most of the damage with primal armament, fire infusion, elemental focus, just damage stuff. Immolate if I ignite enemies. I'll go over how I ignite enemies in a second, because Immolate itself cannot ignite. Plenty of other stuff can, though. Now, sometimes enemies are resistant to fire, and that's where Flash Grenade comes in for a few reasons. One, just a bunch of damage. Two, for stun. Stun is really good with Flash Grenade. Like, the stun buildup of this is disgusting. Like, 400% more stun buildup with a little bit of spec and stun on the tree. Absolutely good. Especially with Overpower. 50% more stun buildup, which actually... yeah, it is a multiplier. So in addition to the 400% more, you add another 50% on top of that 400. So you're more like at 600% stun buildup. And let's see. Brutality, because most of my elemental damage is conversion from Fizz, so Flash Grenade benefits from the Fizz damage is just pure Fizz. Devastate is really nice, breaks armor on a heavy stun, so Flash Grenade is full effect. Could put Heft here if I was breaking armor other ways, which I kind of am, but this is just really reliable. Not to mention, Explosive Grenade and some other grenades have partial Fizz damage, so that's nice. And personal decision here, but Soul Thief. I definitely have mana sustain problems with this build currently, and leeching it with my most highest Fizz damage skill is pretty nifty, though I have some flash sustain too if needed. Now, to get ignites going, there's two very easy ways to do it. Technically three. Oil Grenade leaves ignited ground, I want to say? Yeah, ignited ground. So Oil Grenade on fire can detonate enemies. I also have Flame Wall, which does count as ignites as well. They inflict ignite on hit, if actually, yeah. And Flame Wall is actually really good for this. Flame Wall is linked to faster casting, arcane tempo, and Fortress isn't really needed, but it's free. Because Gemling Legionnaire doesn't really care about gem requirements, and that's actually surprisingly good in this build. Like, I was surprised at just how useful one of the nodes in the Ascendancy is. Anyways, Well Grenade creates Ignite, Flame Wall creates Ignite, and Flammability actually can do Ignite, because not only is it a good fire res thing, also you want to have it at lowest level, which is 7, because the mana cost, increasing it only, makes the fire res go from -32 curse to -34, which is basically nothing. The only thing it really increases is the radius of the curse, and it's by a marginal amount too. Focus curse for erupting faster. Like, look at the difference here. Yeah, you want to have focus cursed. Burning Inscription creates ignited ground, so that's the third way to ignite. And Persistence for more skill effect durations, so I have longer burning ground, but more importantly, longer flammability. Longer curse, less time needed to cast it. Gas Grenade's good for Flash Grenade, Armor Break. I have Corrosion linked to it. Gas Grenade is actually not really a damage skill, it's the utility here. Corrosion, poison damage dealt, corrodes armor, break posture, applies daze, which is better for flash grenade stuns, and demolisher, break more armor. So it's just an armor breaking skill. Auras. Time of Need. It's just basically Steel Skin as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's just life. It's a periodic heal. Fast forward so it heals faster. I believe it goes from 10 seconds to 7 seconds, which is pretty good. And then support with our generic auras. We have Cannibalism, Vitality. If I was to get a greater gem, I would put Clarity on it too, because Clarity is good for mana sustain. Not as good here, ironically, or at my mana pool, but if I had a larger mana pool, I would, and I might go over that in a second. But Life Regen and Life Recover, these are great ways to keep your health up. I am going a life build, which is not great, but we'll go into that. And the fluff skills, that would be Cluster Grenade. Cluster Grenade, I have Scatter Shot. Scatter Shot could go on Explosive Grenade. I tested it, but it's so much slower. If I had a higher attack speed, I would consider it, but for now, Scatter Shot and Cluster Grenade. Payload, super slow cooldown now. It goes from 10 seconds to 22. Heft, this does have a good amount of physical damage, like 80%, and 60% of its physical damage is still carries through, so Heft is actually good there. Magnified Effect, I've been debating this. Conk Effect, Magnified Effect, and Deceleration actually are all valid here. Deceleration, if you want to cluster the cluster grenades more, along with Conk Effect, could swap out Heft with that. The main reason I'm using Cluster Grenade, though, is not because of any utility or damage, just because it looks like this. And that's pretty amazing to me. Like, let's just do that one more time. Oh, so satisfying. There's not really any other reason for Cluster Grenade. Wind Dancer auras. Pin and Maim. Clarity, again, that would go over in Time of Need if I had a chance, but Pin and Maim are good enough. Flash Grenade basically blinds all the time, otherwise I would put it on Wind Dancer. Put Blind on Wind Dancer. But this is just a good defensive layer. Now I have another way to pin, and that's with Ripwire Ballista. Pinning bolts. Overabundance, so I can have 2 totems. Let me see. Ancestral Urgency for faster totem placement, and Lockdown, which has pin build-up, so that's a way to do it. I would put Lockdown on Wind Dancer, and Clarity on Time of Need if I had an extra gem slot. I do not, so that's where we're at. Ripwire Ballista and Cluster Grenades are the most frivolous skills here, but Gemling Legionnaire, excuse me, gets +3 skill slots, so why not? Oh, and Voltaic Grenade, because shocks are nice. I have Stormfire. Shocks from supporter skills do not expire on ignited enemies. Guess what we do a lot. If you guess Ignite, you're correct. Neural Overload, Electrocute, easier Electrocutes. I don't have the Electrocute support because I want to shock more or less, which is where Conduction comes in. Lightning Infusion for just a little bit more lightning damage, you know? That's just nice. Flame Wall is also a nice damage boost in some ways, right? You just put a Flame Wall down, put a Flame Wall down, put Explosive Grenades on it. Oh, Explosive Grenade itself, Primal Armament. Oh wait, no, sorry, Explosive Shot. I confuse the two all the time because, you know, they're both explosive. Alright, Martial Tempo. Explosive Grenade's pretty slow in general, so speeding it up is nice. Nimble Reload, because it only has 1 shot, so reloading it fast is important. This is not even a damage skill, it is a blow up the other grenade skill. Ignition, more chances to ignite. So that's my 4th way to ignite, and it seems to proc enough. And since this is utility, Culling Strike. Now is a good time to comment. You may have noticed that's a lot of active buttons, especially since crossbow shot. What's it called? Yeah, just actual crossbow shot itself is a skill. So that, in addition to all the skills we have listed here, crossbow shot itself is an extra click. All of these don't matter. I kind of just put dumps. I just dump these around in case I want to swap skills elsewhere, but if you care to see crit, whatever, fresh clip, arguably helpful for crossbow shot, ammo conservation, arguably helpful for basic bolts, rather. The acceleration, actually pretty useless here, that's just for cluster grenade. Inevitable critical, pretty whatever. And discombobulate, that's arguably good for flash grenade. Same here with Mace Strike. Mace Strike's just filler. Fire Pin for explosive grenade instead of probably LE Focus. Conk Effects, it's just a thing I could swap out in other skills. Back to buttoning though. So PSA, now's a good time to mention your secondary hotbar can have binds that are not, you don't have to hold down a controller shift in my case as the secondary toggle here. If I was smart, I would bind these if I could find a button for it to other buttons, like maybe X for ripwire or something. I will say the amount of buttons you press is actually kind of okay in this, because even though these are like grenades, swapping ammo types is basically the same as like a shooter where you swap weapons and then shoot with left click. I think keybinds are important to talk about here. I do have my own custom set. I put the number keys here instead of the QERTF set. Because that's extra hard to do with WSD for me personally. But up to you. And I have Q and E bound to my flasks anyways. X is not weapon swap, that would be middle mouse, and that's for theoretical switches to this build that I'll go over. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, I could do 5, but whatever. Actually I should. 5 for maybe a flame wall. Yeah, shift 1's fine. Biggest downside to having so many buttons is not only the MMO playstyle, but if I want to cast a lot, I'm clicking my keys and it sounds awful on stream, and I'm sorry about that. Other things while we go over the build. I think that's most of the button and gem layout here. Let's talk about gear and then the skill tree. Gear. Bombard crossbow, because grenades fire an additional projectile, that's basically vital. I would not take a bombard crossbow until you get grenadier, not grenadier, cluster bombs, because you want to have 3 proj or 1 proj in my opinion. Your projectiles does this weird V-shaped shot, and that means you're never hitting really in front of you. It's the same principle in PoE 1 where like you want an odd number of projectiles because otherwise you're missing the middle shot. Excuse me. So bombard crossbow, ideally an expert crossbow would be great. You want basically flat fizz, percent fizz, and probably attack speed as your 3rd stat. I don't have that though, so I'm sad. Flat fizz, increase fizz, iron runes. Rest of the stats are whatever you can fit in. Attack speed, crit bonus could be nice. The one thing I would not recommend is plus to proj skills, because while it doesn't really increase your damage that much and percent-wise, and it makes these mana costs skyrocket. Like the difference between a level 19 explosive grenade versus a level 25 is gargantuan, so I would not recommend that. Oh yeah, actually the 4th stat, or even the 3rd stat I would put on here instead of just the increased fizz mods is Mana Leech, which I'll go over in a second. As far as the other gear, it's all rares. Just life and res on rares, rarity if you can fit it, of course. Utility belt. Oh yeah, armor and evasion for all the gear here. I know armor's bad, but evasion's not, and frankly, armor is okay against really small hits, and there's enough of those in the game that I'm fine with it. But I have like around 4,000 armor right now, and yeah, there's enough hits that are like low enough that it does mitigate it enough, so whatever. Chaos Res Ring, if you can. You know, Res Rings Solar Amulet for extra spirit, that is actually relevant. You do want a Solar Amulet with enough spirit to give you, that gives me clarity. But also, and if I had a little bit more spirit, I could fit on precision. So I would recommend a spirit somewhere on your gear, preferably, and Solar Amulet's fine enough for that. An attribute amulet with spirit on it would also probably be better. Mana regens here too. Mana regen's nice. Mana starvation is real in this game, so I would recommend it. I think Mana Leech is better here. I have Mana Leech on my ring and Soul Thief. I don't think this is optional. You need Mana Leech somewhere on your skills, preferably as much as you can. They can appear on rings and gloves and weapon, and they're all valid on those slots. Belt-wise, utility belt, instant heal. You could also do a wide belt with instant heal flasks. I have utility belt, the instant heal belt with charge gain flasks. The charge gain belt with instant heal flasks, like I said, could also work. I think it's actually a fine belt for that one. I know I have some somewhere. Excuse the amount of stash tabs I have, we don't talk about it. Yeah, fine belts or utility belts with life res. Actually, that's the point. Strength is life in this game, so whenever I say life, interchange that with strength as well. And since strength is a suffix, it's even better, because it's basically doubling up on life stats. So let's say life res, strength on gear, and rarity. Those are the stats you're looking for. Mana Leech on rings, gloves, and weapon. Before I get to the tree, weapon swap, you could do whatever here, I guess, but I am doing a shield. I don't use it much, but I do have the raised shield is nice for some situations, I guess, and I would probably swap out Ripwire or Cluster Grenade for shield charge or blink. Blink obviously takes up too much art spirit by itself, and that's where you would swap in, like, one of the two here with a blink instead of Ripwire, or probably Cluster Grenade is the weakest link here. But yeah, you basically do blink on a weapon swap, which all you got to do for that is uncheck one of the auras that you have on your main set, and then you'll have enough room for blink. I think blink is a 60 reservation thing, so you want to take out time of need, which is fine. Now, skill tree. This is the weakest part of my build. I don't know where to go with skills, but I will say for the Ascendancy I'm pretty set. Adaptive capability first, because seriously, I thought this wouldn't be that great. I was going for enhanced effectiveness, but playing other builds, yeah, having 67 of each, not having to worry about support gems is just goated. It's actually really good. Enhanced effectiveness is mainly just because you get double the life from strength nodes with doing that. And believe it or not, going from 2 strength per life node to 4 strength per... Sorry, 2 life per strength to 4 life per strength, really fucking good. And increased attribute percentage is nice too. Integrated efficiency for the 3 extra skill slots. If you don't have this, which I didn't for the longest time, I would take out... I basically wasn't using one of these. I wasn't using Flame Wall and Flammability, but frankly the ones I would take out are Cluster Grenade, Ripwire Ballista, and let's just say one of these 2, Flame Wall or Flammability. With those in, we can put all 3, and that's nice. I'm going to be going for Gem Studded next, and then we'll think about what we do. The Thaumaturgical Effusion is actually pretty fucking good too. I am res capped, but getting, if I had Thaumaturgical Infusion, was it for every 4? That would be plus 4 max res on fire and lightning, and 3 max res on 3 max res on lightning, 3 max res on gold, yeah. And that's actually really disgusting amounts of elemental defense right there. That's without even trying. I could just dump in some more supports and be pretty good there. But I'm probably going to go for Gem Studded because that would equate to more damage on some skills. It's not really needed. So I'm kind of deciding between these two, and it's easy enough to respec. Speaking of which, I've respec this tree so many damn times. This is what I've settled on for now. Leveling, I would not go this route. I would take the proj damage and the remorselessness. I don't really find armor and evasion early on that relevant. But strength where I can fit it on everything. As soon as you get one reason to get armor and evasion on gear is you don't need to worry about intelligence. And getting that capability means I don't have to worry about intelligence ever. So yeah, just basically just take strength, dexterity for any gear requirements you might have, which basically for the bombard crossbow, that's it. And I guess evasion gear. So, you know, like the armor evasion bases. So highlights, yeah, so we're going to remorselessness because stun build up, strength and dexterity, nice. Feel no pain into battle hardened. I'd say like this is fine. Life regen, I actually do find flat life, like life recovery is pretty tight in this game, so I decided to go this way. Leveling, I might do proj damage into ricochet into this set, like just beeline this way. I two-handed damage nodes here for basically all the damage. I would say prioritizing leveling to get to Grenadier as fast as possible. Grenade skills +1 cooldown, very good. Taking cluster bombs, I wouldn't take this until you get explosive shot and a bombard crossbow. Those two I think are vital. Otherwise, just go down to cooldown recovery rate and Grenadier. Weapon set allocations are completely frivolous, by the way. I just did this because I was trying to figure it out, and were I smarter, I would, in the offhand, I would have like a bunch of weapon skills on block nodes for the shield, yada yada. After image, that's for later really, but it's nice to have evasion. So priority nodes, Grenadier, instant reload, volatile grenades, these are really good. Perfect opportunity, flash grenade goes up a lot, so having lucky hits against stunned enemies, super freaking good. And not to mention stun build-up's nice. So, Grenadier, instant reload, volatile grenades, perfect opportunity. You could just go down these wheels, but I decided to take Crushing Judgment for just area effect, it's just more damage. Polymathes, super good, because we're getting as much strength as we can, and percent increase attributes is nice. Full salvo and repeating explosives. We're not going crit right yet, so power shots is not worth it. Sand in the Eyes is really nice. Blind on hit, but also attack speed. We're kind of starved for attack speed on this build. I tried going Falcon Dive, but it's so far away for kind of diminishing returns. I could theoretically go Falcon Dive instead of Catalysis, but I'll get there in a second. Dual nodes are a mess. It's basically just damage and attack speed. That's what we're looking for here. General's Binding, evasion rating is armor, probably one of the weaker nodes, but Leatherbound Gauntlets is nice. It's more evasion per armor on gloves, which is not bad at all. Keep closing windows that I shouldn't. So I think my current strategy, though, is since I'm getting so much strength from Grenadier or Gemling Legionnaire and stacking strength as much as possible, brute strength is just seemed like a no-brainer. The downside is reduced max mana makes mana regen weaker, so you really do want to use Mana Leech. So caveat emptor there. But yeah, we are taking strength nodes just for life. And honestly, I think going strength is low-key actually okay for Gemling Legionnaire because you get a bunch of life that way. It's really good. In fact, I could probably swap out these dexterity nodes currently for strength because I'm only using these. I have like 129. That's solely to use the Expert Bombard Crossbow I'll eventually farm for. I should mention this build is SSF right now. I have not traded any gear, and pretty much have only been spending gear currency I've collected. Some of it's from a guild stash, but pretty sure all the stuff I took from the guild stash is stuff I farmed. Sorry to the guildmates if that's wrong. Final nodes I took. After image for evasion. This is whatever. But yeah, I'd say the last nodes I took was after image for evasion. Evasion's actually pretty damn good. Backup plan also for evasion, and honestly a little bit of extra armor is kind of nice, just for deflection. Heavy ammunition, I wouldn't take this until you have some attack speed anyways, which I kind of regret not building up more of it. But I would take heavy ammunition after Sand in the Eyes just to keep the attack speed going. Blur is one of the last things I took. Probably could take it earlier because move speed is nice. Also, yeah, move speed on boots, obviously, because move speed's a premium in this game, unfortunately. And the other thing I took last is Catalysis, because Fizz taken as a different element is a nice stat. And it's elemental damage with attacks, which is most of our damage from explosive shots, so, you know, it's a double whammy there. If I want to take extra points to justify the amount of pathing here, I would probably go Exploit, because we do ignite a ton, and that's just, it's basically free damage right there. The other thing I would take if I had more points going this way is Smoke Inhalation, and the fire little wheel here that looks like a little bit of fire. Because Fire Pin is really good, and damage with Ignite against burning enemies is also pretty good, because we pretty much ignite and burn all the time. So that's my current plan. Again, this is a build diary, not a build guide. This is just my logic, and I'm hoping to... just my thought process for all of this. Come to think of it, how many nodes is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, too few. If I had another point, I might just go this route, just because area damage is... it's nice. Like, I'm still early on enough that increased area damages... increased damage stats are pretty good still. I am noticing that fire-resistant enemies do take a lot of time to take damage, so I am strongly considering going back onto the Fire Pin. But honestly, that's what really most of what I do is just swap out Elemental Focus with Fire Penetration. I think that would be fun. And let's see, build progress so far, or where are we at? We're currently in tier 15 maps. I have gotten, oh yeah, Atlas Tree, everybody cares about that too. Atlas Tree's a mess probably, but whatever. I'm just basically wasting quantity, item rarity, item quantity, waste, yeah, basically waste stone quant. This is kind of useless. In fact, maybe I have item rarity. I don't have explicit modifiers of waste stones because I don't trust damage mods. Essence chance. Probably could do resonant lattice too, but whatever. Local knowledge is a no-brainer in my opinion. Tier higher waste stones is a no-brainer in my opinion. I think essence is fine. Essences aren't really that good right now, but I think they're better than nothing. Treasure coves is pointless. It's just a means to get to the high road. Item quant is obviously really good. Item rarity is obviously really good. This tree, rarity of items, because rarity of items. So I said I did tier 15s. I've done also the bosses at tier 15. Irradiated map bosses, guaranteed essence, again, waystone drop chance, obviously. So I was doing Spoils of War, but then item rarity got revealed to be actually pretty freaking good, so we're doing those instead. I I don't think any of these are good. The Shrine of the Strongbox Essence is the best of the three here. Once I get my fifth notable, it's probably going to be Beyond Reality, because XP is like whatever. And Corruption, it's just more boss levels. So, where are the brick walls right now? Can't do Citadels with +4 boss difficulty just yet. Basically my damage is low. My defenses are whatever, but my damage against bosses, single target, is low. Like we could try Riverside maybe, or not Savannah. And some bosses are just rippy. The Hyena boss in Savannah, for instance, pretty rippy. Count Geonor killed me a few times, so ripped a couple of Divines from the Copper Citadel or from the Iron Citadel fights. Augury is awful, but that's not the build, that's just Augury. So why don't we show a map demonstration? I guess we could try Riverside. No guarantee if I live or not, I just want to showcase what the build looks like. And clears a little bit mid. So it's able to do high tier maps decently enough. I think it's like an okay all-rounder. We'll try this one, reduce flash charges, increase accuracy. Yeah, this is fine. We do rely on evasion a lot for defenses, thank you Wind Dancer. But frankly, most of my defense is just not getting hit, and that's from WASD movement. WASD is basically super goated for this build. Let's turn down the volume a little bit. Alright, sorry about that. So let's do build showcase. Because what's a build diary without a showcase? Yeah, but I looked at other builds online and they're totally better than this, let's face it. Like the Spark Stormweaver is just disgusting. So I've been kind of slowly killing things. My kill count currently is 178,000 monsters. Playtime is not reflective because I idle a lot. Like most of my time's idling in hideout. I don't spend too much time crafting, and that playtime is 8 days, not great. I don't really have trouble with any monsters except for bosses right now, and that's only difficulty 4 bosses. That being said, I have been very careful with my areas that I've been running. Arguably, I don't do too much damaging maps at tier 15. I think if I wanted to do high damage maps, the comfort zone for this build would be like 12 or 13 I could do comfortably. Yeah, but definitely better builds out there. The budget, given that this is an SSF build though, I'm relatively pleased. Ignore the temporal. Can we get rid of this actually? I don't want to pretend that acceleration shrines make my build look better than it is. But really the gimmick is flash grenade for most packs and explosive grenade while not flash grenading. Frankly, that's my choice currently. And really it's just press the MMO buttons, press all the buttons, why not? Put a ripwire down, who cares? Plus grenade basically does nothing, but the rest of the damage is fine. Fire res enemies are noticeable without fire pin, but frankly nothing that a little bit of oil slicks from oil grenade and flammability curse stuff fixes. Like they really do the trick. You know what? I could bind Flame Wall. I could bind one of my buttons to X key so I could cast Flame Wall better. instead of having to press Shift 1 all the time. You can see how good Flash Grenade with even 10% Mana Leech is. Imagine if I had Mana Leech on my gloves and other ring and weapon, and you could see that really fixing my gear a little bit. I'm not paying attention to the Grenadiers there, and I should. Improvements to the build, definitely a better crossbow. Better crossbow, more Chaos Res, and more Mana Leech are I think my priorities right now. I would recommend that, and you really get stuck with an advanced crossbow up until like tier 15s or tier maybe 14s, and then you're looking for expert crossbows because they don't start dropping until level 79, I want to say. It's pretty far away. Yeah, you can see how these enemies die pretty fucking quickly. I already found so many level 18 skill gems, we're only carrying about 19 in the theoretical 20. But yeah, I think honestly for a 5 link with an advanced weapon and not an expert weapon, I'm relatively happy with the build. Of course, I might be proven wrong on single target bosses, and this essence here, we'll see. Yeah, but I'm basically not having trouble on anything except high difficulty bosses. And reminder, these are high difficulty bosses and not tier 0 difficulty, and that's an important distinction to make.
My pockets are full.
And I am still picking up all the rares. My loot filter is showing expert crossbows and evasion armor gear at expert level. SSF crafting strats, I mean, as far as gambling goes in PoE, I pick up the crossbows I find. Why did I pick this up? It's a spirit gem. Identify them with Doriani. Yeah, I'm just doing the salvage shuffle here. Wide belt. Just looking through here. That's almost good. Not right. Oh, hi, Searing Touch. But yeah, my strat really is to hoard expert crossbows, and then try to roll good stats. If I don't, I keep them and use the reforging bench. Arguably, I should keep, whether or not you want magic or rare crossbows is up to you. It depends on what I brick. I kind of keep a set of magic crossbows if I brick on the magic rolls, and then rare if I brick on the other rolls, so that's where we're at. Chaos Orb, sometimes if I come across a good set of mods and I feel like I'm feeling lucky, I'm out of Chaos Orbs to tell you how well that's gone. Yeah, I'm not going to make like a written guide for this or anything, because it's not really a guide, it's a diary. I just felt like I wanted to showcase what I've leveled into 90 with. I think I'm going to stop playing this build when I get an expert crossbow and feel more geared out. Once I get to that territory, and depending on how my build goes, how stuck I feel, then I'll probably follow an actual guide. Should be noted this is mostly a self-made guide. The only thing I really looked up was the Wind Dancer tech, and somebody had a flash grenade grenadier, and basically using flash grenade. I was using flash grenade already, but it's good for Soul Thief. Also, these lightning fuckers, I swear. Brutal Slinter's the Tyrant. I would say a comfy spot for me in tier 15s was like around 3,500 health, which I'm not at right now, but whatever. 35 to 4k health is 3,500 to 4k has been really handy for all. But you can see, like, my movement speed's not great. I'd probably weapon swap to blink or something, but whatever. I only have 25% move speed boots. As far as PoE2 goes, it's been a pretty fun experience. I still think maps are too large, and the backtracking of killing all rares is tedious. What the hell was that? Oh, that was the Grenadiers again, the mining dynamiters. I still die to random things. I haven't died to too many what killed me moments. That was a close call though, obviously. High ultimatum. I noticed bosses still take forever to kill, so we'll see. I think my weakest point is clear though, like breaches and stuff. Let's not stand in that. I am able to stand still okay, so that's nice. I did have hailstorm rounds for a little bit sometimes, but it didn't really turn out that great. Yeah, you can see like my breaches aren't particularly grand. I think that's probably the weakest I'm at. It just doesn't clear that great. I do the bosses here. I think it's the Chaos Tree fight in Riverside. I haven't fought. I haven't fought the other Citadels other than Genor, and I haven't won that fight yet. I probably could do a difficulty 0 count Genor at this point. I haven't tried it though. I've only tried +4 and failed. So, I think once I get an expert crossbow, I'll be better at that. The ice spikes from his that he does, the beams from the sky, were killing me too much. Tried to fight the 4th Ascendancy boss in Trials of Sekima. Haven't done Chaos attempts yet. But that boss... hello? Oh, it's this guy. Oh, that's a problem.
Smoke him out!
I probably will die to one-shots from this guy. I'm being very silent here because this boss is scary.
Bye-bye! Out of mana!
And Culling Strike. Yeah, obviously this build is still on Struggle Bus mode with tier 15s, at least +4 boss difficulty, so that's a thing. One thing of note that I forgot to mention in this little build diary rant is that sometimes the Explosive Grenade feels like it's stuck in animation if I click too much instead of just hold down shoot. So you gotta be careful about that. It's some kind of bug, but yeah. Let's see. And then we gotta do the salvage shuffle again. Bad, bad. Bad. Rarity, but no move speed. That's probably bad. Bad. Booked mail. Oh, it's only advanced though.
Until next time.
And then put all this up. And let's finish up the map. Yeah, I think at 1 difficulty that boss would be way less spongy. And I'm pretty sure the slam that guy does would probably one-shot me. The little clip from his swing took off, what, 1/3 of my health? And that was without damage mods on this map. It does have accuracy though, so I am getting hit more often. Really don't need to pick up these Scrolls of Wisdom, do I? Overall though, been having fun with the build, been having fun with PoE 2, still think the layouts are too mazy in maps, and the Citadels are RNG, which was a problem that Delve had and they didn't learn their lesson, I feel. I don't think I like mapping in this, I don't like the mapping system this as much as I do in PoE 1s, and also the loading screens for like the map menus are atrocious, and I really hope they fix them. That I don't think the game can really stay like that. Oh, hi Bombard. But yeah, would I recommend this build? Not compared to other builds out there, unless you just really want to blow up stuff. It is, which I like doing, so I'm having a fun time with it. And honestly, from what I've seen from other builds in a similar vein, could be worse. Could be worse.
Gotta stay quick on my feet.
Yeah, we don't need this. Alright. Well, that's a build showcase. That's a map boss. Obviously, that's what the build looks like so far. Thank you for working on this little build diary.